Great, now.
Your left arm. Huh? Your left arm. Give me your left arm. This one. No! Yeah, come on. Deep breath.
This little baby's gonna stay right here.
A well-balanced husband, which is rare in Hollywood, this actor is more than just a pretty face. A true chameleon. He has mastered transformation, captivating audiences with every role.
Oh, you don't even smile.
Didn't you hear your friends? Don't you know what I am?
Known for his versatility and low-key lifestyle, Ryan Gosling has become one of the most respected actors of his generation. Whether in romantic leads or intense dramas, he consistently delivers performances that captivate both critics and fans.
But you look good in everything. You look good in nothing, whatever. No, I don't mean it like that. But you do look good in nothing.
This isn't gonna work.
You do, but it's not what I...
How has he achieved this level of acclaim? How did his Mormon upbringing shape his career? Why did he decide to take on the role of Ken? And what role did his daughters play in this decision? Let's explore Ryan Gosling's world on Celeb Spot to uncover how he became one of the finest actors of our era and what continues to motivate his artistic choices. We are starting from his early age. Ryan Thomas Gosling was born on November 12, 1980, in London, Ontario, Canada. He was given his middle name from his father, Thomas Ray Gosling. At the time Ryan was born, his father, a descendant of French-Canadian lineage, was in his mid-20s and worked as a traveling salesman for the local paper mill. His mother, Donna Gosling, worked as a secretary and raised Ryan alongside his older sister, Mandy. When he was 2 years old, his family moved to Cornwall in eastern Ontario, where Ryan spent most of his childhood.
I traveled a lot, you know, when I was younger, and I even as a kid, we never really had a house. We always lived in apartments, or, you know, we were all...
Growing up, Ryan was incredibly close to his sister Mandy, and often mentions how much he admired her as a child and continues to do so as an adult. As is almost always the case with younger siblings, Ryan instinctively followed in his sister's footsteps, wanting to do whatever she did. Due to the nature of his job, Ryan's father was often away from home, so Ryan spent most of his childhood with his mother and sister. He said that, quote, he enjoyed the feminine company very much. He started his kindergarten in September of 1985. Growing up, Ryan was a handful. He often got into fights. This behavior earned him the nickname Trouble, inspired by the movie First Blood with Sylvester Stallone. Young Ryan once brought kitchen knives to school and threw them at classmates, seeing it as a game rather than a danger.
Okay, so like when I was a kid, I saw Rambo First Blood. You know?
Rambo First Blood.
And then after the movie put a spell on me, and I thought I was Rambo, and I even thought my face felt like Sylvester Stallone's. And then I put a bunch of a bunch of steak knives in my Fisher-Price Houdini kit. I took it to school the next day and I threw them at all the kids at recess.
Wow.
And I got suspended and I didn't hit anybody.
Right. Yeah.
So and I'm sorry. And I don't think it's cool.
Yeah.
But my parents were like, this guy can't watch movies, you know? They have too much of an effect on him. So I could only watch Bible movies and National Geographic movies.
Wow.
Ryan Gosling's early years were marked by academic struggles and a diagnosis of ADHD, which led him to channel his energy into creative pursuits like ballet, singing, and helping his uncle, an Elvis impersonator. A turning point came when he watched Dick Tracy, inspiring his dream to become an actor. Despite being raised in a Mormon household, his upbringing wasn't strictly religious, and his parents encouraged openness to different beliefs. Although it's surprising for such an award-winning actor, he has one big regret from his childhood: giving up on ballet lessons. Quote, I had been training in ballet, but never got to the point where I was comfortable with it, said Gosling, according to US Weekly. Disillusioned with the prospect of working at a paper mill like his family, he sought a different path through acting. Though he struggled academically and socially, he found solace in TV and film, which became his escape. He was the first of 12 males in his family to break the tradition of not working for a paper mill. He also engaged in a lot of typical boyish mischief, giving his parents a hard time. In an interview with the Daily Telegraph, he recalled, quote, "I was sneaking out of the house, never wearing my clothes, putting cars into dryers, breaking things, and setting the house on fire." When the end of the academic year arrived, 11-year-old Ryan and his mother decided it was time for her to return to work and for him to go back to school. So Ryan was enrolled in Cornwall Collegiate and Vocational School. He began attending his drama and fine arts classes, though his time there was brief due to another family move. They relocated to Burlington, Ontario, where he attended Lester B. Pearson High School. In 1993, a 12-year-old Ryan Gosling was inspired to attend an open audition for the Mickey Mouse Club after his sister, who was too old to participate, read about it in the newspaper. Ryan traveled to Montreal alone and was selected from many applicants, joining future stars like Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, and Christina Aguilera on the show. Gosling describes his audition for this club.
I auditioned. I was wanting to be a dancer, so all the girls in my class were auditioning, so I did too, and somehow I got on.
Wow.
And then when they hired me, they realized that I couldn't really dance or sing. I wasn't talented, so they stopped using me on the show.
While filming in Florida for 2 years, Ryan Gosling enjoyed spending time at Disneyland and indulging in smoked turkey legs, calling it the best time of his life. Despite the fun, his mischievous side remained. After his parents divorced when he was 13, he returned home to be raised by his mother and sister. Upon returning to Canada, Ryan's acting career continued as he began to act in local television series. In 1995, he appeared in episodes of popular teen shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
What a cheesehead.
I thought my brother was strange. What's his problem?
Yeah, I guess he was playing capture the flag in this big old graveyard with some of his dork friends.
Goosebumps, and The Adventures of Shirley Holmes.
Where's your tie, wuss?
I called the cops.
Usually they call you.
They know I didn't do it.
Well, that won't matter anyway. Where you're going.
In 1997, he started Breaker High.
Okay, to kiss a girl.
No, seriously, dude, what is
I am being serious. Listen, I'd laugh too if I was you. Maybe not as hard as you, but I'd laugh anyway. Everything's gonna be different by tomorrow.
How, dude?
How? I'll tell you how, okay? I'm gonna ask Tamara out. She's gonna say yes. Hopefully. We're gonna go on a date. Bada bing, bada boom. I get my kiss. Do you know what the best thing is, Jimbo?
What's that, dude?
It's got nothing to do with the list, you know? It's about getting to kiss the best girl in the world.
A teenage series about school life. At 16, Ryan decided to drop out of school and move to Los Angeles to pursue an acting career. At 17, he landed his first major role as Hercules in Young Hercules, 1998 to 99.
I don't think so.
What'd you say? Hercules, you're the one who's been running around in here.
Well, looks like Plan B didn't work out as you had hoped, huh?
Yeah, it did.
A prequel to the famous series Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. Interestingly, Ian Boehm played Hercules in the pilot episode, but he dropped out when the show was greenlit because he didn't want to travel to New Zealand for filming. Gosling took the role, preparing well by working out in the gym and training in martial arts with a coach. He starred in one season of the series, which included 50 episodes before the show was canceled. After Hercules, Ryan decided to transition from television to film, setting the stage for his successful movie career. Gosling dropped out of high school at age 17 to focus on his acting career. Was his decision right? And how did his luck work?
It's both. It's luck and it's hard work. It's so much luck involved.
Yeah.
I know so many talented people who haven't had haven't had the same opportunities, and it's so frustrating to watch because there's no reason for it. It's not fair. It's just really, but you have to work hard in order to make yourself available to those opportunities, to be lucky.
At 19, Ryan Gosling decided to focus on serious acting, which led to his agent dropping him and initial challenges in securing roles due to his children's television background. In 2000, he played a minor role in Remember the Titans, portraying Alan Bosley, a fictional character added to demonstrate the team's dedication.
Huh? Yes. This one. I mean, I don't even have to ask, but I will. What do you think of this one?
Despite his small role, the film was a success, grossing $136.8 million at the box office. After the supporting role, Gosling landed a lead role as a young Jewish neo-Nazi in 2001's The Believer. The film was also based on the real story of Dan Burroughs, a Jew who was a member of the American Nazi Party. The Believer won the Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance Film Festival, and Gosling described it as, quote, "the film that kind of gift-wrapped for me the career that I have now." Though it was a commercial failure, earning only $416,925 worldwide. In 2002, Gosling starred in Murder by Numbers, a psychological thriller where Gosling...
What?
California uses a gas chamber.
Oh, that's very informative.
It doesn't matter.
No, thanks. Thank you. And you told her that you tutored me too? God, what are you thinking?
I was thinking that if she found out on her own and I hadn't mentioned it, it would look even worse.
They have nothing.
Played a high school senior trying to commit the perfect murder. The film was a minor commercial success, grossing $56 million worldwide. However, for Ryan Gosling, the most notable aspect of the film was meeting Sandra Bullock, with whom he had a low-profile relationship with that lasted a year. In 2002, he also starred in The Slaughter Rule, a film about the complicated relationship between a high school football player and his troubled coach in rural Montana. In 2003, Ryan Gosling starred in The United States of Leland as a troubled teenager, Leland P. Fitzgerald, who commits a shocking crime by murdering a disabled boy. The film explores the psychological and emotional impact of the crime on Leland, his family, and the victim's family, and his teacher in a juvenile detention center. He was intrigued.
I think it's a really unique piece of writing. I hadn't read anything like it, and I felt like each not only did the main character have a very unique voice, but I felt like all of the characters had their own distinct voices, and that's kind of rare. Usually it takes actors to kind of fill in those roles, but they were also kind of clearly defined in the script. It was pretty great. I just kind of wanted to meet the person who wrote it,
By the role because it offered the opportunity to portray a character who remained, quote, emotionally disconnected through the entire film, Gosling revealed.
Well, basically there's this kind of crime, a tragedy that happens in the beginning of the film, and the character that I play, Leland, is at the center of it. He's suspected of doing it, and he goes to juvenile detention center pending his trial. And he meets this teacher who's played by Don Cheadle, who's also a writer, kind of. And then it also deals with the loss, because a life is lost, and the effects of that on these two families, and really the breakdown of both of those families, the effects of morality and loss,
The film grossed $343,847 in the United States and did not receive an international release. Ryan Gosling gained widespread recognition in 2004 for his role as Noah Calhoun in the romantic drama The Notebook. The film follows Noah, a working-class man who falls in love with Allie Hamilton, a wealthy visitor to Seabrook Island. Despite their intense love, her disapproving parents separate them. Years later, they reunite and rekindle their romance, and in their old age, they pass away together, symbolizing their enduring love. The film grossed over $115 million worldwide. Gosling won 14 Choice Awards and an MTV Movie Award. Filming took place in Charleston, South Carolina in late 2002 and early 2003. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams began dating in 2005, despite a combative relationship on the set of The Notebook. Gosling noted the irony of making a love story while not getting along with his co-star. In an interview with Time SQ, they revealed.
We think we were both sort of on the same page instinctively, and...
I think what was interesting also about the way that we did the film is that we shot the last part first, and then we did the first part last, so we had an opportunity to sort of really connect and get to know each other.
Their romance lasted about 2 years, ending in 2007 due to the demands of their busy careers. After that, in 2005, Gosling starred alongside Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor in the psychological thriller Stay, playing a troubled young art student. Despite boasting a strong cast, the film was panned by critics. In a critical review for the New York Times, Manohla Dargis remarked that Gosling, quote, like his fans, deserves better. With a 26% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, it was a flop at the box office, grossing just $8 million against a $50 million budget. Little did he know, his failure would lead to great success. In 2006, Gosling starred in Half Nelson as a drug-addicted junior high school teacher who forms a bond with a young student.
Hey. It's back.
Yeah.
Did you know my brother?
I knew of him, but he wasn't in any of my classes or anything.
Exposing his role in Half Nelson, Ryan shared with The Independent, quote, my character sees this student who's at a point in her life where she's ready for somebody like him, but he doesn't know who he is. They're both trying to be the people they see in each other. I really wanted to work this way, where you get to throw anything at the wall and see what sticks, which you don't get to do when there's a lot of money at stake. Gosling received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for this role. Despite its critical acclaim, the film grossed $4 million worldwide. In 2007, Gosling was invited to join the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. During this period, Ryan Gosling became interested in making a documentary about child soldiers in northern Uganda. He typically commits to only 1 or 2 films a year, focusing on collaboration with talented actors and engaging in unique stories without concern for box office successes or maintaining constant visibility. In the 2007 film Lars and the Real Girl, Gosling portrayed an introvert who falls in love with a sex doll. His performance received critical acclaim and earned him a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor. Despite the praise, the film did not fare well at the box office, failing to recoup its $12 million production budget. That same year, Gosling starred opposite Anthony Hopkins in the courtroom thriller Fracture. Initially, he turned down the role, but changed his mind once Anthony Hopkins signed on. Gosling was drawn to his character, Willie, because of his flaws and realistic nature. The film received well reviews from critics and grossed over $91 million worldwide. In 2007, Ryan Gosling was cast in the supernatural drama The Lovely Bones, but initially declined the role, feeling too young to play the father of a teenage girl. After being convinced by the director and producer that makeup could age him, he gained 60 pounds and grew a beard for the role. However, just 2 days before filming, he left the production due to, quote, creative differences and was replaced by Mark Wahlberg. Gosling later said, quote, we didn't talk very much during the pre-production process, which was the problem. We just showed up on set and I had gotten it wrong. Then I was fat and unemployed. After a 3-year break from the big screen, Ryan Gosling shifted his focus to his passion for music. He formed the indie rock band Dead Man's Bones in 2007 with Zach Shields, and they released their debut album in 2009, which was well received by critics. The band embarked on a successful tour, but despite plans for a second album, they went on hiatus in 2011. Gosling then starred in 5 films in 2010 and 2011. Quote, I've never had more energy, Gosling said. I'm more excited to make films than I used to be. In 2010, he appeared in 2 successful films, the marital drama Blue Valentine and the mystery film All Good Things.
Right to wear New Balance sneakers ever. Come on.
In 2011, Ryan Gosling took on 3 high-profile roles, starting with the comedy Crazy Stupid Love, where he played a womanizer helping Steve Carell's character navigate the dating world. This marked Gosling's first purely comedic role, and the film was a box office hit, grossing over $142 million worldwide. It became the 4th most successful film of his career when adjusted for inflation. Ryan Gosling's next project was Drive, where he played a Hollywood stuntman who moonlights as a getaway driver. Gosling described it as a, quote, violent John Hughes movie, and performing many of his own stunts after taking stunt driving courses. He even restored his character's car, a 1973 Chevy Malibu, found in a junkyard. The film premiered at the 2011 Cannes Film Festival, earning critical praise and grossing $81.4 million against a $15 million budget. In his final role of 2011, Ryan Gosling starred alongside Philip Seymour Hoffman in the political drama The Idols of March, directed by George Clooney. Gosling played an ambitious press secretary, choosing the role to become more politically aware, stating, quote, "I'm Canadian, and so American politics aren't really in my wheelhouse." The film earned critical acclaim with an 84% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and Gosling was nominated for a Golden Globe Award. It grossed $66 million worldwide. In 2012, Gosling starred in The Place Beyond the Pines, a crime drama directed by Derek Cianfrance, where he played a bank robber. The shoot was described by Gosling as, quote, "the best experience I've ever had making a film." The role was tailored for him, and he underwent a significant physical transformation, including gaining 18 kilograms of muscle and learning how to ride a motorcycle. The film received positive reviews and grossed $47 million worldwide against a $15 million budget. He met Eva Mendes, his co-star, and they began a romance that continues to this day. They were first spotted together walking hand in hand at Disneyland. This meeting was a turning point for both actors, as they had not been separated since. Now, Gosling is a proud father of two daughters, Esmeralda Amanda, born in September of 2014, and Amanda Lee, born in April of 2016. The couple tries to keep their personal lives private. After the birth of her children, Eva Mendes dedicated herself to her family, stepping away from acting. Gosling also took a break from filming after the birth of their second daughter to spend time with his children. As the girls grew up, their parents began taking them to different filming locations. Another defining characteristic of our today's hero is his dog, George, who accompanies him on almost every movie set. Ryan adopted George from an animal shelter many years ago. Sadly, George passed away at the age of 17. In his memory, Gosling now wears George's tag as a necklace. Now, back to his career. In 2013, Ryan played LAPD officer Sergeant Jerry Voters in the crime thriller Gangster Squad. In the same year, the film Only God Forgives, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, Ryan Gosling plays the role of Julian, an American expatriate living in Bangkok. Julian runs a Muay Thai boxing club. He has described the script as, quote, "the strangest thing I've ever read." In the same 2013, Gosling announced he was taking a break from acting, stating, quote, "I've lost perspective on what I'm doing. I think it's a good time for me to take a break and reassess why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it. And I think this is probably a good way to learn about that." But this didn't mean he was disappearing from the world of cinema entirely. Instead, he began focusing on his directorial debut. In 2014, Gosling made his directorial debut with Lost River, which competed in the Uncertain Regard section of the Cannes Film Festival. The fantasy noir, which script written by Gosling, stars Christina Hendricks, Ben Mendelsohn, and Matt Smith. However, the film received largely unfavorable reviews from critics. British writer and film critic Peter Bradshaw called it, quote, "insufferably conceited," noting that Gosling had lost, quote, "any sense of proportion or humility." According to Robin Collin of the Daily Telegraph, quote, "mind-bogglingly pleased with itself." Although, his acting break was brief, because already in 2015, Gosling played a Bond salesman in the film The Big Short. This film earned $133 million globally and was a Best Picture nominee at the 2016 Academy Awards. The following year, Gosling starred opposite Russell Crowe in the black comedy The Nice Guys. It received good reviews from the critics.
Is this the start of something wonderful?
Gosling received his second Oscar nomination for the 2016 romantic film La La Land. In the movie, he and Emma Stone played two Los Angeles residents who fall in love while striving to build careers in the entertainment industry. La La Land was nominated for a remarkable 14 Oscars, winning Best Director and Best Actress for Stone's performance. He won a Golden Globe for Best Actor. At the 2017 Golden Globe Awards ceremony, Ryan thanked his family.
That while I was singing and dancing and playing piano and having one of the best experiences I've ever had on a film, my lady was raising our daughter, pregnant with our second, and trying to help her brother fight his battle with cancer. If she hadn't have taken all that on so that I could
have this experience, it would surely be someone else up here other than me today. So, sweetheart, thank you. To my daughters, Amada and Esmeralda, I love you. And if I may, I'd like to dedicate
The
this
film
to the
emerged as one of Gosling's most commercially successful, earning over $440 million against its $30 million budget. Following the critical acclaim, Ryan Gosling took an unexpected turn. In 2017, he ventured into the experimental romance drama Song to Song, co-starring Christian Bale and Cate Blanchett. This low-key project marked a departure from the biopic spotlight. Song to Song received mixed reviews from critics. That same year, he starred in Blade Runner 2049, the sequel to the 1982 science fiction classic directed by Denis Villeneuve. Gosling played Officer K, an LAPD Blade Runner tasked with eliminating rogue bioengineered humans known as replicants. Gosling's decision to star in Blade Runner 2049 surprised some. Throughout his career, he'd gravitated towards smaller, more independent films. This time, however, a confluence of factors drew him in. Firstly, he was a huge admirer of the original Blade Runner. Secondly, the chance to collaborate with the acclaimed director Denis Villeneuve was a major draw. Finally, the script itself offered a complex and intriguing role. The filmmaker put a lot of work into it, Ryan reveals.
There's so many incredible craftsmen on the film, and Roger Deakins, the cinematographer, and obviously Ridley Scott. And
Are those people allowed to?
Despite being Gosling's largest domestic box office, opening at $31.5 million, the film underperformed overall. In 2018, Ryan Gosling took on the role of Neil Armstrong in Damien Chazelle's biographical film First Man. The film was based on the book First Man, The Life of Neil A. Armstrong. It was a great opportunity for Ryan to learn more about the history of the first man's flight to the moon. They read Hanson's book, visited Armstrong's hometown, and met with his relatives and friends. It was all about some physical training and some movie magic, according to Ryan.
I did some physical training. We, like at NASA, there were lots of, they put us through the paces in certain ways. And then in the film itself, there's a lot of, like for instance, they built this multi-axis trainer, which is something that NASA designed just to sort of help the astronauts prepare for the worst case scenarios in space.
His performance earned him a nomination with the Critics' Choice Movie Awards for Best Actor. First Man grossed a total worldwide amount of $105.6 million against a production budget of $59 million. Ryan Gosling made his big screen comeback in 2022 after a 4-year hiatus. He took the lead role in the spy action thriller The Gray Man, sharing the spotlight with Chris Evans and Ana de Armas.
Built this multi-axis trainer, which is something that NASA designed just to sort of help the astronauts prepare for the worst case scenarios in space.
Oh, really?
But it's this thing that kind of sends you
In 2023, Ryan Gosling starred as Ken in Greta Gerwig's fantasy comedy Barbie, opposite Margot Robbie. While the film appears bright and colorful, it delivers a sharp critique of societal power dynamics, becoming the top film of the year and one of the highest grossing movies ever, earning over $1 billion at the box office. Gosling also contributed to the soundtrack with the song numerous accolades, including an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Barbie marked his triumphant return to cinema, making history as the most commercially successful film directed by a woman. The latest movie of our hero is The Fall Guy, that was released May 3rd, 2024. Ryan Gosling played a role of a stuntman working with his girlfriend. The film received positive reviews from critics and grossed $129 million worldwide. It also set a Guinness World Record for the most cannon rolls performed in a car. Ryan Gosling doesn't actually have any upcoming movies scheduled for release in 2024. However, looking ahead, there are a couple projects of Gosling he is attached to. Wolfman. This horror film is a remake of the classic monster movie and is slated to release sometime in 2025. Project Hail Mary. This sci-fi adventure film based on the Andy Weir novel of the same name is set for a March 2026 release. Beyond acting, Ryan Gosling is known for his philanthropic efforts. In 2005, he traveled to Dunfar to raise awareness about the humanitarian crisis there. According to him, "I've learned it's important not to limit yourself. You can do whatever you really love to do, no matter what it is." If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to Celeb Spot. Until next time, stay inspired and keep reaching for your own Hollywood dreams.
Guess I'll see you in the movies.